My name is Elizabeth Sandridge. I'm going to be one of your co-chairs for our tour. I'm really excited. This is my third sweet tea. I've done the last 3 years, 2 years as a co-chair, so I'm super excited um, to go to Florida with y'all, and I'll let my other co-chair introduce herself as well.
Hi, everybody. My name is Kyra Young. I am excited to join. I joined the Sweet Tea Tour last year, but this is my first official year as co-chair. So welcome to our intro webinar. And I should just mention to Elizabeth, as you go through the presentation, I will keep up with the chat
Okay.
and just kind of keep up with that while you present.
Sounds great. We also have a third co-chair. Her name is Aisha Ward. She is co-chair in training. So next year, she and Kyra will be leading the tour. So she's really just kind of like watching and learning as we're going through, but she will be able to answer any questions on the tour as well. So we're your 3 points of contact for anything. You'll see our names the most often. I'm sure you've seen me like blowing up the group me. It'll only get more intense the closer we get to sweet tea, but just so you can kind of know who your 3 points of contacts are and who's been sending you all those emails. We wanted to run through the itinerary for sweet tea so you can kind of start mentally preparing, thinking about what's about to happen. And we're also going to go over maybe some packing ideas to kind of help you get started. On Monday, check-in will start at 11, and this is all in Florida time. So just as a quick little reminder, if you're in a different time zone. So at 11, we will start check-in at Eckerd. The bus isn't getting to Eckerd till noon. So if you are, as long as you check in sometime between that check-in window of 11 to 12:30, that's great. It's just for us to make sure everyone's there. Put your stuff on the bus. We will have some light snacks, but we will also, our check-in spot is near a Starbucks. So if you want to get coffee or grab some lunch, you'll also be able to have that opportunity. From there, we're going to go straight to University of Tampa, where they will also have snacks. So I know sometimes travel days are hard eating days, but we will have snacks at check-in and snacks at University of Tampa. From there, we will head over to University of South Florida at Tampa for dinner and their campus tour. And then we will be getting on the bus for a while. We do have a 4-hour drive from the University of South Florida to our hotel in Boca Raton. So we did put the bus at the end, so hopefully we can take some naps and kind of settle and rest as we head over to the hotel for the evening. But that is one of our bigger stretches in the bus because it is about a 4-hour drive from the university to our hotel. On Tuesday, we're going to have to be on the bus for 7:45 a.m. So we just ask that everyone's on the bus in their seats for 7:45 so we can get to Florida Atlantic for breakfast. Then we will, from there, head over to Lynn University for lunch and their presentation and end the day at Nova Southeastern University. They will be providing us dinner. So all meals covered on Tuesday and then ending the night at our hotel. And I promise you that hotel room is going to be way worth it at the end of this day. But a full packed day on Tuesday. Then on Wednesday, another very packed day. So on Wednesday, we do need to be on the bus for 7 a.m. But we do suggest grabbing some breakfast from the hotel if you are a breakfast eater. Florida Memorial University will not be able to provide breakfast for us, so we just suggest eating at the hotel if you really want something. And then we'll be heading over to Florida International for their presentation and lunch. Their dining options are a little bit different. Their dining hall is under construction over the summer, so they are giving us vouchers to several different locations in their student union. If you have any sort of major dietary restrictions where you don't feel like you'll be able to eat at one of these options, or if you are gluten-free and need a gluten-free meal. They do have a gluten-free box. We just have to let them know ahead of time how many they need to order. So if you need a gluten-free option, please let me know by the end of the week, so that way we can get that ordered. They also are requesting that if you need any accommodations while you're on the tour, to register with their ADA accommodations. That was sent in our welcome to the Sweet Tea email. So if you have any questions about that, happy to resend that link or give you that information. We'll end the day at University of Miami and have dinner with them. And then again, and our last night in the hotel. On Friday, it's another long bus day. So we do need to be on the bus super early at 6:45 a.m. It's our earliest morning. And it is because we're doing another kind of long drive over to Ringling College of Art and Design. So again, if you're a breakfast eater, we do suggest eating breakfast at the hotel. And then we'll be at Ringling for lunch and their presentation. They're super excited to have us, so we're really excited to go visit. We'll end the day at Florida Southern College, and they have been generous enough to provide housing. So that picture at the bottom is the residential hall that we'll be staying in. They will be providing like linens for your bed, a pillow, all that kind of stuff. So you don't need to pack that unless it is a preference and you really want to have it. But they will have the room set up for us, so that way we can sleep on their campus for Thursday night. Friday is our last day, so we need to be on the bus for 7 a.m. We're gonna head to Eckerd College for breakfast. Their tour is gonna be super fun. It is a biking tour, so they do suggest wearing athleisure wear, so that way you're comfortable on the bicycle. If you do not want to bike or cannot bike, it is okay. They will have other options, but they just want people to be prepared that it is going to be a biking tour. We should be finished at 11:30 a.m. once the tour is concluded. If you drove to Eckerd, you'll be able to get in your car, head on home, and if you are flying, the bus will take you back to the airport. So we don't have transportation at the beginning of the tour from the airport to Eckerd. We do ask that you Uber or Lyft share with someone else on the tour, but at the end, the bus will be taking people back to the airport. So you do have a ride at the end of the tour back to the airport. So that's our whole itinerary, all the schools we're going to see in the order we're going to see them. We will email you an itinerary as well, so you can kind of review and look at it as you're planning your packing and all that kind of good stuff for the tour. We are going to be in South Florida, so if you are not familiar with South Florida weather, this is pretty much what it's going to look like the entire time. The high is going to be in the 90s for sure. It's probably going to feel a little bit hotter than that on the tour, but expect some thunderstorms in the afternoon. That's pretty standard South Florida weather. So just so you can kind of be aware and be watching that, I would, suggest packing an umbrella or a poncho, light layers, because it will be hot and it will be pretty steamy after those thunderstorms in the afternoon. And hopefully most of that's maybe while we're on the bus, so we won't get caught in any rain while we're on our tours. Some suggested packing. This is for my first tour where I had the most trouble, so I want to make sure we tried to give you as much of a list and give you some pretty in-depth things, so that way y'all can really see what to expect. My suggestion is to pack the bigger suitcase. We are going to be in a hotel for 3 nights, which is really great. It doesn't mean you have to repack every night, but having the bigger suitcase does mean that you will be able to fit any materials the schools may give you. Sometimes they give us t-shirts, water bottles, all kinds of great goodies to help us remember their schools, but it is nicer to have the bigger suitcase so you're not trying to stuff everything into a carry-on bag. We do suggest, make sure you're wearing comfortable clothes. You don't have to be business professional while we're on the tour. So we do ask that you wear light, breathable clothes that are good for walking around several campuses. We do suggest bringing cash as a tip for our bus driver and the hotel staff that we're staying, an umbrella, raincoat, or poncho. This year, I've bought a neck fan to wear while we're on the tour. I'm pretty excited. I'm curious to see how it's going to work to kind of help with that heat and humidity, but something to kind of help you cool off. Definitely some sunscreen and bug spray. The bugs come out in full force after those thunderstorms, and sunscreen just to make sure that we are not burning and staying safe while we're on tours. Hats and fans are always encouraged. I will definitely be wearing a big hat at some point. One tip that has saved me on several tours is I will go to Trader Joe's and I will get the body wipes. So like once I get back on the bus and you just feel kind of like hot and muggy and sticky, the wet wipes and body wipes really kind of help to alleviate some of that heat and make you just feel a little bit cleaner in between each tour. We will have a first aid kit on the bus, but we do always suggest bringing Band-Aids or any kind of medical basics that you want just to have for yourself. Definitely want to wear some comfortable walking shoes. We will be doing a lot of walking on these tours, and a reusable water bottle. So that way you can always refill it with ice water as we're going through, making sure we're staying hydrated. Kyra, was there anything that saved you on the tours previously?
Um, I had a tour that I went on that it rained, and I wish I had bought brought with me another pair of shoes because it took a while for my shoes to dry out. And I've also but I've also done like the walking sandals that are fast dry. So
Mm-hmm.
that's kind of one of the things that I think of. And I would say I'm in Florida for those of you that don't know. So fortunately, most of our summer rains are like 5-10 minutes. But having said that, that probably won't happen when you're down here. It'll probably be longer. Well, and there's no way to predict what time of the day. So sometimes there's short bursts, but all you need is to be caught in that short burst, and then you're kind of feeling it for the rest of the day. So you may want to think about, things that are quick dry.
Yeah, that's a really good idea. Some quick dry options, or honestly, just packing, like keeping, we'll be on the same bus the whole time. So you can bring almost like a bus bag. So if you want to have a
Mhm.
backup pair of shoes, a backup pair of socks, just something, you can leave it on the bus because our bus driver will stay with the bus. So that way you have those backup options just in case if you want it. It's a good idea.
And one of the things I also travel with are, and I'll bring a supply, but I have like the little electrolyte powders that I can put in my water. So I'm in Florida, so I'm a Disney person. So I've learned to always have my little packets that I can dump in water. So it makes a lot easier than me trying to find Gatorade or whatever. So I'll have a few, but if you think you may just want to keep your own supply, there are all kind of flavors out there that you can choose. You can find them in pretty much any store.
Yeah, it's a great idea. For our bus, just so y'all know, so we will be on a charter bus the entire week, and it'll be the same bus with the same bus driver. So usually by the end, we're all pretty friendly, and we all spend a lot of time together on our bus. There will be a bathroom. So if on one of those long stretches, you will have a bathroom at your disposal. The bus does not have Wi-Fi. So just so as you are kind of planning and thinking ahead, if you needed to do some work while we were driving in between schools, you will need a hotspot or something like that to be able to access Wi-Fi. We will have snacks on the bus based off the recommendations on that survey form that you did for us. So we will definitely have some gluten-free options, some plant-based vegetarian options, just kind of based on the feedback that we got from everyone. I know for me, like I always ask for like bananas and those clementine oranges and some chips. So we're going to have a pretty wide variety to help get us through the week. And we will be bringing a couple of cases of water. So if you don't have a reusable water bottle, or for some reason you run out of water, we will have water on the bus. So that way we can make sure everybody stays hydrated. Some suggestions for the bus. You never know what temperature the bus is going to be. We know it's going to be hot outside, but the bus might be cold. In previous years, there was like spots on the bus that were really hot, spots on the bus that were really cold. So we do suggest kind of like maybe thinking about bringing a bus blanket or a sweater or something just in case you're in one of those cold spots. And if you have a neck pillow, I am definitely a sleep on the bus kind of person. So I will be bringing some sort of a neck pillow or something like that to try and get some rest in between our tours. Portable chargers are super helpful just so we can make sure your battery life stays full while you're on the tour, keeping your phone charged. And then if there's a specific snack you want, you're more than welcome to bring your own snacks onto the bus too. We're not limited to just what we have. So if you like really want something specific, go ahead and feel free to pack it if you can. Or if you want to like that first night or second night, you know, Uber Eats something to the hotel so you can have it for later, you're more than welcome to do that too. We're so excited to see everyone in Tampa soon and answer any questions that y'all might have left over. We will send all of this in an email as well, and you'll get a link to this webinar. We just wanted everyone to kind of start seeing each other's names, see our faces to know who we are when we start doing check-in at Eckerd. Just so y'all know, from this point moving forward, pretty much everything's going to be sent in the GroupMe. So we might do, we'll probably send out this link from the presentation and the slides via email, but as soon as we get closer and closer to the tour, all those updates are going to be in the GroupMe. So if you have any trouble with downloading GroupMe or have questions about that, please let us know. If you have any specific questions about stuff we've covered, you can raise your hand and it'll take you off mute so that way we can chat and answer anything that maybe y'all have about going and being on the tour. But for those of us driving, is there any specific parking instructions? Yes. So in the itinerary that I am going to be sending y'all, I'm going to pull it up right now. Eckerd will be sending in the next couple of days a form that they need you to fill out for parking, but then I will also be sending y'all this PDF with the parking location and a map so that way you can actually put it in there. We'll be parking at Eckerd parking lot 15. It is across from the, and you know what, because we're talking about it, I've already forgotten the name, is across from the James Center on Eckerd's campus. So we will be sending that information in the itinerary with our follow-up. That's a great question. Is there anything else we missed or something someone has a question about? Just feel free to raise your hand. We can take you off mute.
While we're waiting on questions, I wanted to thank Crystal for putting in the link in the GroupMe. Appreciate that because I know when Elizabeth, when you started, I don't know if you are on GroupMe right now as well. We had some people trying to sign in and they were having trouble. So Crystal was nice enough to drop the link into the chat. So appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
No questions in the chat, or you can raise your hand. There we go.
Yeah,
Hi,
I'm
Crystal.
gonna just. Oh,
Did you have a question, Crystal?
Oh. Will we get a list of participants in advance of the tour?
No.
Yes. We are hoping to send that out at the beginning of next week. The person who's helping us with registration is on vacation at the beach, and so I wanted to respect her vacation. So we're hoping to send that out as early as next Monday, as late as next Wednesday. So y'all will get that.
quick question about the electricity on the bus. Will we be able to charge our chargers? Are there plugs on the bus?
I asked about Wi-Fi. I've actually been emailing our driver, so I will email him to confirm that they're chargers, and we will send out that information as soon as I get it. So I will take care of that today. I didn't think about it until this presentation was going on, that just because it doesn't have Wi-Fi doesn't mean that it doesn't have the little charger. So I'm hoping that it does have those for the different seats.
Someone asked how many are on the tour. At this moment, that I know of, there's 30 participants on the tour. Again, that could have changed this week if there's someone else who's letting us know who maybe have signed up a little bit later. So that's why we just have to wait to send out that list. But right now we're about 30 people, which I think will be really nice. Oh, it is Crystal. It's showing you as everybody since you shared that link. If you use Crystal's link, can you drop your name in the chat so we can see who else is here? Because it has y'all all listed as Crystal Jordan. We don't have a lot of information about the rooming structure with Florida Southern. I just know that we are going to be staying in one of their residential halls. They were still ironing out some details, so hopefully we'll be able to give y'all that information before we get to campus. Anyone else have any last minute questions, things we didn't cover? Or if there's anyone who's a repeater of Sweet Tea and maybe has their own tips and tricks they're willing to share, there was a lot of first timers on this webinar. So I'm sure they would accept any advice that y'all have about how to navigate the Sweet Tea tour. No one? Ooh, Jarrett. Hi, Jarrett.
Hey, y'all, can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Yes.
Excellent. Thank y'all for putting this together, of course. Quick question about the Sweet Tea Tour and the materials that come along with Sweet Tea Tour, because as we know, going to college and universities and the marketing materials and everything like that, will there be a lot of marketing materials? If so, any tips or tricks on how to kind of figure out what comes and what comes along with me back with my suitcase and what kind of stays behind, so on and so forth.
Yeah. We've definitely been working with the universities and asking them to be mindful of the fact that we are visiting so many schools. So I do think that there's a handful of them that will actually be shipping information post-tour once we give them all of that, because we did definitely encourage them to ship information or all of their gifts and goodies for us. In the past, like last year's, it was a lot of water bottles. It was a lot of water bottles and mugs, and they were really nice ones. So like it was really hard to decipher who kept what. I will say usually at the end of the tour, if something's not fitting in your bag, there's usually a driver who is willing to either take it if you don't want it to get back home or ship it home to you. So definitely like we'll kind of have that chat as we're wrapping up at Eckerd College. But like for me personally, this is like the one tour fly-in experience that I do check a bag at the hotel, check a bag at the airport just so I can fit any kind of add-ons that we get. Usually we do get a handful of flyers or promotional like brochures and things like that, but it's usually the water bottles that really kind of like make it a little more difficult to pack.
And since I'm based at where we're in Tampa, I probably will bring a container. So if there's anything that you want to just leave in a box, I'll have it. And I'll bring my car. My car also will be parked at Eckerd, and so you can just put it in a box. And if you want me to help you ship it to you later, I'm happy to do that. If you're donating it to the cause, I can definitely find someone that can take it up if the driver doesn't want it to.
Mm-hmm. That's a great question. Any other last minute questions or anything before we close for the day? All right, I think we're gonna be able to wrap up a little early. If y'all think of anything, please throw your questions into the group me, because that's definitely where we're gonna have most of our conversations, and your questions probably are the same ones someone else is having, and where we'll be sending most of our information from this point moving forward. But we will be following up with the itinerary, with parking instructions, and all that kind of good stuff from the universities as well. We're really excited to see everyone soon and be able to kind of explore these different schools in South Florida. And we hope you have a good day.
Thanks everybody for joining us.